who can blame me? Now I've heard the Boyle's been snipping off Boyle. Don't tell his wife Shirley. She likes to go but doesn't want Jamie to know. Oh, Jamie, say, hey, what you gotta say? Come on, Jamie, who can blame me? Now his
Afternoon,
wife's on the
evening,
jersey.
guys.
He's
How are
got
you
a
all
hairtie,
doing?
got him wearing a headdress. Oh, Jamie, cross-dressing Ellie, come on, Ellie. Hey, what you gotta say? Come on, Jamie. Who can blame me? Now I wrote another one for him, and I adapted this one. Eddie Grant. Uh, he gives his wife Coke, and he calls her Joanna because he's sleeping with a prostitute called Joanna. So I'm not the author. The wife, she does it all for me. I just a crack it. On Gabby's handsome subbies. Give him Coke, Joanna. Coke, Joanna. Jimmy wants some shit. I'm a bastard. Oh, you know he's wanking off in the toilet, don't you?
Evening, guys. Hope you're all doing well, and hope you've all settled in to this new year, 2023. And I hope all of you had a good Christmas. Just have a look down the comments. Evening, Jaleese. How you doing? Melanie, how you doing? Good evening. Positive vibes. How you doing? Hope you had a good Christmas and settling good to this new year, guys. Barry Ace Card Sherbet. Evening, sir. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Rihanna Hughes. Evening. We've got Welsh Girl. How are you doing? Hope you had a good Christmas and settling into the new year. Evening. Delhi 74. Massive big up to TroubleNet. How you doing, sir? Hope you had a good Christmas and the new year. Hope it started well for you all. I only got back from Benidorm Friday and hopped the leggy, but had a fantastic new year. Thank you, Steve. Good. Glad you enjoyed your new year, and I'm glad it started well for the majority of us. Let's hope this year is going to be a heck of a lot better than last year. Daily 74 evening, positive vibes. I mean, this year started off really well, you know, and I hope, you know, the rest of this year continues, you know, the way that it started, to be fair with you, because I couldn't wait to see the back end of 2022. I think that was a bad year for a majority of us, I think. Yeah, so the reason why I've decided, you know, to do this live, and because there's been a lot happening behind the scenes, you know, as regards to this individual, and you know what he's been doing isn't quite fair, you know, on a lot of people. And in the description box to this live, I've put some links as regards to interviews that people have done as regarding Jamie Boyle and his behaviour, you know, towards a lot of very good people. I think there's about 4 or 5 links in the description, which I'd say to you guys after this live, if you wouldn't mind, go and watch some of the links to people speaking about this individual, Jamie Boyle, and how he's treated them, and the disruption and lies that he's been telling about them people. I didn't want to add them videos into this live for the simple fact that, you know, I want you guys to go along and you can check out, that I'm not, there will be evidential proof put during this live as to the behaviours of Jamie Boyle and the amount of lies that he's telling. Big up Sir Dodgy Dave. Sir Dodgy Dave in the house. In the house. We've got Melanie. We've got Barry A. Scotsher, but we have got the one and only Sir Dodgy Dave. We have also Maria Howarth. Evening, Maria. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great Christmas and the New Year started off pretty well for you. We have got the one and only Ice Queen. We have got Emma Cockerill. Evening. Hope you're doing well, Emma. I'll put the link there, guys. So if anybody wants to jump on after this live to, put anything to me, especially you, Jamie Boyle. I know you're listening. I know you're watching. You've got every right to jump on this live afterwards, and you can question me on anything that I'm about to say. And I dare you to come on and call me a liar. Yeah, so basically, I haven't known much about this guy, but I do know now. He's gone around, he's told a heck of a lot of lies as regards to a lot of different people, and where it all started, that he's claiming to be an author, as regards to that fact, his wife does more to do with, the tapping and typing of books and stuff. So, that's where he gets the nickname the fake author from. If any of the mods want to put any links for people's channels into the chat, go ahead and do so. You've got the free reign, to do as and what you feel. And I want to say a big thank you to all my mods tonight, because I think they're going to have their work cut out. It's both the man and his wife. They are both. Sir Dodgy Dave, you're absolutely correct, sir. Dave, if you want to jump on, there's a link there. If you want to jump on at any point, Dave, no problem. And Emma, at any point, if you want to jump on, hit the link and jump on. So basically, a bit of history regarding this guy. He's, like I say, claims to be an author. He's made probably around 22 books for different individuals. And from what I can see, he's ripped off probably each and every one of them. I know to a minimum of 20 people that he's wrote books for, and he's ripped them off. And the way that I say ripped them off is through the sale of the books. He would not issue any sort of paperwork to say how many books were distributed to how many actually got sold. And the money that was made from the sale of the books never reached to the individuals that the books were written about. He also claims that there's never been any sort of case against him, whereas I know, to a matter of fact, I've interviewed 3 people, and each one of them 3 people have said that they've ripped him off through the sale of the books. He wouldn't let them have access to, files to see, how many books were actually made, against how much money was coming in. And subsequently, I know to a minimum of 7 people, there's going to be 2 individuals that I'm going to prove tonight that he has ripped off. I've personally done interviews with them. I've seen all the paperwork as regards to court cases, and it's led me to say now to explain to you guys, his behaviours and what he's been putting a lot of people through, especially Brian. He's had to deal with this for the past 3 years. There's also been numerous fake accounts that have been opened, and I'll get into that a little bit down the line to the behaviours of how he's ripped these people off, and how he's treated people as regards to comments made, phone calls made, and quite frankly, Brian and Emma, have been through the mill as regards to this individual, and it's about time that somebody spoke against them and to air exactly what these two individuals are like. This has been going on so long, the lies, the threats, both are disgusting individuals. You're right, Dave, a million percent, and I'm hoping from this live, I'm going to get the chance to put the lies, the deceit, and the quite frankly jealous hatred and disgusting remarks that he's made these people go through for numerous years. It's unfair on them. They've done nothing to sanction, any of the abuse that Jamie Boyle and his wife seem to think that they've got the right to, put individuals through, because they're not so squeaky clean themselves. And I've seen numerous videos of Jamie Boyle and interviewing people on podcasts, and he's been high off his face on drugs during these podcasts, and how he's got the audacity, to sit there and to chuck mud at people. Some breaking news I found out tonight, but I won't be disclosing that this live tonight. That'll be a bit down the line. So where did it all start? I've put a video together where I will be stopping the video at certain points, but I have put the video together specifically for this live, so I can show you guys in stages, to where this all started in the first place, and the extent of the hatred that Jamie's got towards Brian and Emma. But he's ripped off numerous people, even down to the fact that there's a link in the description box where it will take you to Emma's live New Year's Eve, where there was a unsuspecting guest that came on New Year's Eve, Lee Duffy's partner. And again, she exclaims for the whole of that New Year's Eve live, exactly to the lies, that Jamie Boyle's even put on Carol's family. I'm going to play for you a short clip now, guys. This is where it all started, from the beginning. I will be stopping it, at certain points and talking about it. So let me crack on, guys.
The idea for the Brian book came about. I've thought enough 3 years, and a lot of it has been from the true crime genre, and people. The names have been constant. You've got to write a book about Brian Cockerill. I knew of Brian Cockerill probably from 15, 16. I grew up on the council estates in Middlesbrough. Everyone knew him. If they didn't know him, he was related to them. He was their uncle. But kinda he was this name, kind of, if you like, that it was almost the law. And as I grew up, I'd heard more and more stories about Brian. Met him a couple of times, funny enough, but never really had a great deal to do with him. When I started doing books, people saying, "Oh, you've got to do Brian." I've heard a lot of negative stories about him. Oh, he's a fully fledged crackhead. All he's felt a bit. He's on oxygen, all this kind of stuff. Didn't know whether they were true. And I think it was just after so many times, so many people asked me, just Brian Cockerill, I kind of did a bit of, I inquired about it. And funny enough, I got given his number, and it's, I mean, and so I wasn't sure whether it was, so anyway, I got in touch with him, nothing happened. And one day he rang me, he said, Jamie Boyle, said, this is Brian Cockerill. I said, no, it's not. It is. I said, no, it's not. I said, I've heard. And then it suddenly dawned on me after about 15 seconds that actually his voice matched the Donald McIntyre's, the documentary, and Kenny and Brian have got together. I don't look down on him. He's told me some of the things. I said, look, if you've been on drugs, don't tell me lies, kind of thing. And he's been as good as gold. And every time I've sat with him now, I must have sat with him on that book alone for maybe 15 hours, 18 hours. But we spent so much time in each other's company. And he has a good energy. I'm not going to I'm not going to give anyone bull and say he hasn't did bad. There's people out there who knew him for what he was, and he was a gangland enforcer. He did some bad things. If you were an average guy like myself, he wouldn't bother. He's never hurt women or children. But in me now, I've got the book, all that book information on my dictaphone. I'm typing it out on a daily basis, and when I'm typing it up, it's certainly nothing to glamorize, because I don't glamorize books, believe it or not, even though I write true crime books. But
you can quite see him bigging Brian up there, and having a good word to say about him. And you've got to bear in mind, guys, that he's ripped off like 18 other people as regards to books in the past. So whether he's seen this and he's thought about the opportunity and he hasn't thought about the consequences, but he's just told a blatant lie there. He has never hit a typewriter in the whole of his life. It's his wife Shirley that does all the typing and all of that stuff. So bear that in mind, guys. He's playing to be an author, when quite frankly, it's Shirley that does all the typing and stuff behind
held really to the top of the tree. And it's only really been this last year or something, because that was one of the things when I was always said, you've got to write Brian Cockerill. And, when I first approached him, he wasn't too happy, and he wasn't best pleased with me because of what other people have said about in the books, even though it wasn't me. So he had his reasons. But then, over the years, I thought, does he realise what I could do for him? I could give him a platform. I could, because he's been a bad guy, and everyone in his generation, like your Peter Rose, your Viv Grahams, your Lee Duffys, they're all pushing up flowers in cemeteries. They're all doing life sentences. For some miraculous reason, he's still here now. And, he's probably 2/3 away through his life. But as I said in the Lee Duffy documentary, imagine if Lee Duffy was here now with bullet holes all over him, telling the kids, don't make that same mistake I did. He'd have been a millionaire, he'd have been in films, or any kind of thing. But Brian Cockerill actually is still here today, and this is his vocation in life, if you like. We've been at schools, we've kind of, and this is what Brian Cockerill's going to do. And a lot of the time, he does it for free. He talks people out with suicides and all that. So that's really where me and him kind of began. The resurrection of Brian Cockerill, where that name came from. The devout Christians out there going to get really annoyed with me. It's nothing to do with Jesus. It's nothing to do with Brian think he's better than Christ almighty. What that name's about, and I chose it, was the man. Brian was the man about Teesside, if you like, the number one from life. Everyone used his name, and if you heard any stories, any negative stories of Brian Cockerill fallen to bits and in pieces in the last 10 years, believe me, them stories are true and much worse. So the resurrection of Brian Cockerill is a man who was once dead, who was completely the most. I mean, Brian goes mad at me, but one thing about me is I'm a realist. Is he was a pathetic crackhead, his own shadow. He, in 2012, 2013, he actually never left his house for 12 months. And after this, he never left his bedroom for 12 months. He had a toilet in his bedroom. After the 6 months was over, he used to go shopping at midnight because he looked a mess. And so that thought-provoking, powerful, huge guy. If anyone's seen him, he's 6'3", and he was 24 stone. I think these days he's about 21, 22, but he actually went down to something like 17 stone. And he looked grey. He looked like Skeletor from, and he was a mess. So that's the reason behind it. And even though I write books on your Paul Sykes, your Lee Duffys, your Roy Shaws, Dominic Negus, kind of pretty much bad guys.
So as you can tell there, guys, I mean, he's high off his face on drugs, and, every podcast he's done, he's just about off his head on every single thing. So I'm wondering now, he's full of drugs, obviously, when he's causing all this trouble. And, it just sums up the type of person that he really is. He's a scumbag from head to toe. How can somebody be so much on drugs and, have a YouTube channel and interview, get big guests, and, how they would entertain a scumbag like this in the first place, I just do not know. But this is how he starts off, and he's all nicey to people and bigging them up, and, let me just continue with this, guys.
If you've read my book, you can relate to this. The one thing I don't do is glamorize it. The big thing about Lee Duffy is he'd have only been 54 now. He should have had kids, he had grandkids. He should have been here. Paul Sykes, that's been signed to be a film by Western Edge Pictures, but them two books capitalise on a man who was the most difficult prisoner in the British system, who was a pathetic tramp who kids used to beat up and crack eggs on a daily basis. So Brian's, it's kind of, you've read his Steve Richards book, which, it's all about hard man. This book is about, I kind of come in from 2005. Yes, there's 30 pages on Lee Duffy. Brian says, he gets a bit of, I think someone close to Lee Duffy once said, "Leave my dad alone," blah, blah, blah.
So now I'm on the understanding that all the stuff, he's even disrespected and upset the Duffy family. Now he's got the audacity, to sit there and speak, highly of them, when quite clearly, this guy's drug induced, scumbag. I mean, because he's the way he speaks highly. I mean, that's probably the way that he draws people in. In the first place to, get him into his graft, so then he can, make his books, you know, and then rip them all off. I mean, like I say, there's been 22 people this guy here has ripped off, and how he's got the audacity, knowing full well that you know, that Brian's character of a person, you know, from being an underworld figure. I would never dare to even insult somebody, you know, that's had that past, because, you know, at some point, you know, he's going to have repercussions against him, you know, and 22 people he's ripped off, guys. I know to 3-4 people, which you're going to see through this live, the proof and evidence, you know, against his lies. I just can't believe, you know, he's still cracking on about it. And I mean, the abuse that this one individual, you know, I'll speak just about the Cockerill family here, because I know there's numerous other families that he's disrespected very highly, and none of them have got a good word to say about him. But what worries me more, you know, is the extent of his abuse. I'll go forward a little bit, but, you know, to the point where, as we all know, Brian went into hospital and had major surgery, you know, on his back. And it was a massive operation, you know, which would have taken, you know, maybe half a year, maybe 12 months to recover from. And during that period, this scumbag here, you know, decided one way, shape or form, you know, to make a phone call to Emma, threatening to grape her, threatening to firebomb the house, threatening to go to the house with people and beat Emma up. And this is all while Brian, you know, was in recovery after the operation, still in hospital. I think it could have been 2 days after the operation. Don't mark me on that, but it was that close to Brian coming out from having his operation, that he's phoning Emma up and sending threat messages that the house is going to get done in, she's going to get done in, she's going to get raped. You know, and, you know, unfortunately, you know, Brian was really not in a predicament, you know, to defend himself, let alone to defend his wife and family. But, you know, he discharged himself from hospital. Guys, when you've had major surgery on your back, well, you know, and I know, you know, you've got to be lying flat for you know, a certain amount of time, you know. But because of all these threats and disgusting phone calls and stuff like that this scumbag made to the Cockerill family, you know, and Brian felt it the need that he had to discharge himself from hospital, you know, and go home so he can protect his wife. And this is the lengths and the extent, you know, that this scumbag goes to. Disgusting, and how he's even managed to get people, you know, on his side, you know, to help him troll against the Cockerill family and put their lives through misery and hell. You know, they ought to be ashamed of themselves for even, like, sticking up for this scumbag.
But he said, hang on a minute. He said, Lee Duffy was a big part of my life. You know, how they met was Lee Duffy said to one of his friends, look at the size of that bloke over there. Look at the size of him. And his mate said, I bet you can't fight him. Lee Duffy, better I can. Went over, punched him. So Brian became friends of Lee Duffy because Lee went up and punched him in the face. And although Lee Duffy was only part of Brian's life for probably 3 or 4 months, he was a huge part. And you know, he's went on to be that first life that Brian had is being captured in that book. So I don't want to go and do that anymore, you know. But the facts of the matter is, and I've seen the paperwork, Brian's been pulled in for 7 murders. You know, he's obviously he wasn't convicted of any, and a lot of the time, to be honest, and I've seen the paperwork, because a lot of guys, or Brian Cockerill was involved, police come in, investigate, he wasn't, and so on, you know, but he has, you know, there's so much that he's done, even from when this book kind of takes off from 2006, I think we pick it up from 2007 possibly. You know, so it's focused on the last 12, 13 years. But the fact of the matter is, Brian, I can't paper up the cracks. He's done some bad things. I can't make him look like Mother Teresa. But there's more good in him than bad. You know, I mean, I've kind of really got to know him well, and have laughs and jokes with him. You know, yeah, he's a big cuddly teddy bear, but the facts, I'm
down to the pandemic and what have you, but
going on over 2 years. From 2006, I think we pick it up from 2007 possibly. You know, so it's focused on the last 12, 13 years, but the fact of the matter is, Brian, I can't paper up the cracks. He's done some bad things. I can't make him look like Mother Teresa. But there's more good in him than bad. You know, I mean, I've kind of really got to know him.
He is a very good man, and he does not deserve the disgusting behaviour, you know, that you're putting towards Brian and Emma. You know, this is how quickly people turn, guys. You know, here you can quite clearly see, you know, this is before it all started. This is the way that he bigs people up, you know, and everything he said there is the truth. You know, Brian is a good guy, you know, and he don't deserve none of this what's going on whatsoever. And it's not often, guys, you know, that I get involved in drama and stick up for people, you know, because of the back end of last year, you know, I'm keeping my channel positive. But quite frankly, guys, you know, I couldn't sit back, you know, and not put forward and show you guys these lies, you know, that this guy carries in his world. Him and his wife, to be fair with you, you know, they're a tag team. They're both in it together.
Well, and have laughs and jokes with him. You know, yeah, he's a big cuddly teddy bear. But the facts, I'll talk to him and he's laughing and that. But the facts of the matter is, there's a deadly man that hides behind that smile. And, you know, I mean, even though he's 54, approaching 55 now, his best days are behind him. He literally would be still like wrestling a wild bear, you know, and you'd have to probably still be so much special. But that part of his life, he's not interested in that anymore. The resurrection of Brian Cockerill will be released via Kindle on February the 4th. That's on Amazon now. You can pre-order it. The price of that is £4.95. The paperback edition will be at a later date of March the 31st. You can pre-order that now. It's from Warcry Publishing's website. You can go into any Waterstones in Britain. There's 660 shops in Waterstones. They'll all have that on their system. There's a Facebook page, website, The Resurrection of Brian Cockerill. Get more information on there, but the best is yet to come.
So you can quite clearly see there, guys, you know, that he thinks highly of Brian, and I do believe all of this. You know, he's jealous. He's jealous because he couldn't live that lifestyle. You know, and the guy's just a coward. You know, he's nothing but a coward, scumbag. You know. Well, on to this next part, guys. This is the part I like, because he's explaining in this part of the video that I'm about to play now, where there's absolutely no court cases against him, and you know, he's not going to court, and he quite frankly says towards the end, well, produce the paperwork. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do, scumbag Boyle. So let me play this part for you. This is one of his biggest lies, I think, you know, which plays a big part, you know, in all of this, because in between these parts, I've explained about the part where Brian went into hospital, you know, to have major surgery. And this guy, scumbag, Boyle, felt the need to phone Emma. You know, bearing in mind Emma was alone in the house, because obviously she was very worried, you know, as to Brian's condition, especially after going through major surgery. You know, so she had a heck of a lot on her plate. Emma Cockerill did, you know, with worrying about her husband's well-being and health. And this scumbag was making direct threat phone calls to Emma. Now, a couple of months ago, I'd done a podcast with Emma and Maria. And thank you, Emma, you know, for confiding in me. And thank you, Emma, you know, for finding the courage, you know, to come out and speak about a certain event that took place, you know, in your life, you know. And this scumbag here, you know, he knew a traumatic time in Emma's life, where she went through something absolutely terrifying. And this scumbag Boyle played upon that, knowing full well what Emma, you know, had gone through. And, you know, he still felt the need above all of that to make ridiculous phone calls to a lone female, threatening to grape her, firebomb the house, I'm sending people round to beat you up. You know, this is all being checked out, and, you know, this is all true, guys. And you know, for a lot of females, you know, that have gone through traumatic times in their life, you know, they don't need reminding, you know, about them terrifying moments. You know, but this is the disgusting extent that this scumbag individual chose to do. And to be quite frank with you, you know, how he survived this long, you know, without anybody approaching him, you know, is unreal. But then he's also got a link direct to the police in his house. You know, he's got panic buttons in his house. No wonder you got panic buttons and the police on speed dial. You know, because if somebody does something against you, you know, you're straight directly on that phone calling the police, because you know what's going to happen to you. You know, and this is all through your drug-induced fucking days. You know, but what I won't let anybody forget is the fact that the threats, and especially saying that you're going to send somebody to grape Emma, that is never going to stop coming out of my lips. That's disgusting. You know, and this is the character of this guy, people. Now, it's not often that I will sit down and, you know, create a video, you know, like this, but it needs to be done. You know, people need to be seeing, you know, this scumbag for what he really, really is. You know, he's not no big time author. You know, he works as a tag team with his wife. You know, and I'm going to get to another part very shortly where he's decided to get somebody to open up a channel, you know, and produce a load of pathetic videos with voiceovers. The channel Big Bright Live, which I'll re-speak about this like a little bit down the line on this live. I'm only speaking of maybe like 50% of, you know, what I can put on the screen, you know, as factual evidence to what this guy's actually done. But the other 50% of the trauma that he's put Brian and Emma through, you know, these guys are explaining in the chat, you know, to the extent greater than my words for what this scumbag's put them through. Now, as I say, in this next part of the video, which is one of his biggest lies, was to tell a heck of a load of people that Brian was lying, there's no court case. But as I'm going to prove to you guys, that's not the case. You know, there's two people on these on these videos which you're going to see that have taken this guy to court. Now, I know to other numerous people, you know, that have put court cases in against this guy for the sale of the books of the money that he never received. And this is why there's court cases ongoing still. And the reason why I'm using these videos is because I've done podcasts with these two individuals. So let me just play this part now where he's telling the biggest lie that he's ever said, that there is no court cases. And then I'll blow him out of the water with the proof that this is one big massive lie, people.
So, it was brought to my knowledge last night that certain people made a live talk about me again. 2 years now. This is went on over 2 years. I've kept quiet on the case. Never, you know, just basically I've got bigger things to do. I haven't got the time to keep addressing lies.
JB Boyle, if you're watching this, if you're in the chat, you know, or you're watching this, jump on. The link's there for you to jump on, right? And I dare you to come on and call me a liar. Come on the live with me now and call me a liar. To any of this, what I'm saying, you know, jump on. The link's there. Jump on and call me a liar.
But my wife has basically wants to have her say. So this is probably the only time, you know, I'll be aware that there'll be more videos afterwards. I just do not have the time. But, you know, Mrs. Boyle, she watched a little bit last night and was just like, that's another level of lies even for him. So Shirley, what's your thoughts on what was put out last night?
It's ridiculous. We both know that you can't. We've been. You can't compete with somebody who's prepared to tell the lies that he tells and exaggerate as much as he does. You can't compete with that unless you're going to be equally as bad or worse. But there are no court cases involving you. There were 3 pre-disclosure hearings at the Magistrates Court, not the Crown Court. There was 3 pre-disclosure hearings that Jamie was dismissed from. Yeah, so it was done over the phone, largely down to the pandemic and what have you. But Jamie was dismissed from all 3 of those. You'll have seen the paperwork earlier on in the year, but he was dismissed from all 3 of those quite early doors. He's nothing to do with the finances of the publishing company, and nobody's been had over. You know, the percentages, you don't get 37.5% of $14.95. From that $14.95, I get 35%. Then whatever's left, I'm not quick enough to do the maths right now, but whatever's left then gets split between the percentages. But then you've got the artwork and paying for the printing and all that other stuff. So no one's been ripped off. There's been no court case against Jamie. That it's all.
Now you just heard it there, guys, coming out of his filthy wife's mouth. There is no court case. Well, I'm going to rip you a new fucking arsehole, you know, with the next video. The next two videos, in fact, I'm going to rip you a new arsehole on that big lie that you've just told there. You know, and people understand, you know, there's a printer to be paid and a designer and blah, 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 you know. Well, that's quite kind of like irrelevant, to be honest with you, because let's say, for argument's sake, you know, that there was 10,000 books. Now, them 10,000 books, right, are for, say, for argument's sake, $4.99 a book. Now, you're talking a big amount of money. Now, 2 seconds, guys. Now, from the sale of that books, you know, the people that sat down and had the books made with them, you know, they get paid out of that sale of the books. Now, he wouldn't let anybody have any paperwork or accounts as to regards to how many actual books were made against how many have actually sold. So therefore, nobody could really check up on, you know, the ins and outs financially as regards to, you know, these books being made. And that's what the court cases were based upon, you know, and quite rightly so. You know, you take it through the courts if it's financial and involved in, you know, stuff like this, writing books, and, you know, someone's not rightfully been paid. And even still to this day, the courts have said to Brian that he's entitled to see these documents as regards to, you know, how many books were sold and how much money, blah, blah, blah. And he still will not do that because he knows that you're going to be looking into the thousands. And for him to quite frankly come out with say for argument's sake, only 100 books sold, that would be a lie, because his previous sales were really, really, really high on books. And because of it being a subject that everybody wants to hear about, you know, Brian's life, there's going to be high sales. So we're not just talking hundreds of pounds here, guys. You know, we're talking possibly thousands of pounds, you know, that's gone through his hands, you know, which should have gone into Brian's pocket. You know, but you've just heard Shirley quite clearly say there is no court cases. I'll carry on, guys.
At the moment, it's all finished. We haven't had any more paperwork. We've had nothing. The only reason that I've chosen to speak now is it's just getting ridiculous. This all started around our 10th wedding anniversary, which was 2 years ago now. We're celebrating our 12th wedding anniversary today. We're just about to pop out. But, you know, there's other things. We could go on forever, but we're too busy. We're living in the real world. We've not been quiet because we're devastated that he's doing so well. We've been quiet because we were devastated at some news that we got some weeks ago. And I couldn't care less if he's getting 1 million views a day. Who cares? Jamie's not been to the police about anything, hasn't made any statements. That guy, however, has made a statement to police. They came and took Jamie's laptop. They took his mobile phone. They were looked at for 2 months before he got them back, and there was no further action because there was nothing on there. But surprise, surprise, it then went from them being a police force that were also helpful and had taken it seriously and arrested him and all this stuff to, oh, he's in cahoots with him and they're all bent and rogue coppers and all the rest of it.
Hours of grass.
Ridiculous.
Whilst they were making police statements.
It's ludicrous.
And people seen them and we've still got them, haven't we?
Yeah, we've still got all the paperwork. We aren't really worried about anybody's opinion of us unless we care about that person and the closest.
See, and again, Shirley's got the audacity there to say she doesn't care about anybody's opinion towards them. That just goes to show you, you know, what a scumbag couple that, you know, we're having to deal with here. That just sums it all up, her comment that she just made from her own lips. You know, and incidentally, scumbag Boyle, you know, I've got no hatred or malice, you know, towards you. You know, I'm not doing this because somebody's asked me to do it. This is done off my own back because I feel the need that this message needs to get out there loud and clear. You know, so be it. You know, if you want to put a trolling campaign on top of me, you know, it won't affect me, you know, any which way, shape or form, you know. For as long as I know I'm putting the truth out there, for as long as I know I'm putting the awareness out there, that's what matters to me. You know, I'll continue with that, guys. But she just said it, you know, herself. She doesn't care what people think of her. So, you know, this is the sort of people that we're dealing with here.
To us and our good friends have all seen the paperwork, all know about that it's all absolute rubbish. As for the books, that person's book is still available. You can order that from Waterstones. The other person from Middlesbrough, that short guy from Middlesbrough, both of his books have been withdrawn. That was a decision that was taken to withdraw it. He was then sent any remaining books that there were. So if you want any of those books, you can go straight to him direct. And Mr. Turner's book, that the most recent pre-disclosure hearing was about, that Jamie wasn't involved in, he was told that he had all the information that that he'd asked the publisher to provide. He'd got all that information. There was only ever 175 of those books printed. Mr. Turner bought 100 of those himself. I think you bought 20, didn't you, Jamie?
20 to give away.
Yeah, for people that had done some publicity and family and things like that. And the rest were sold during the thing. But as for that person not getting 37.5%, he did get numerous, a lot of books at £4 a book. If he wasn't happy with it, I don't know why he would then go on to sell it to friends for months, posing with it. I do actually have a text message from him, a text message exchange where I've said, it's about to go to the printers. Are you sure that you're absolutely happy with everything that's in it? And he's put, yes, thanks very much for all your hard work. So it's all rubbish, and he'll keep on spouting rubbish. And no doubt that we'll come back live because they love the drama for such a positive channel. They come out with a lot of negative bullshit. Just why not just get on with what you're doing? We don't really care what numbers you're doing, what you're up to. Just stop with the lies, because there isn't a day that goes by that we don't get a message from somebody who's saying, oh, I put something on his page and he accused me of being you. And we've had so many of them. But that's why I'm not getting about it. I'm not really bothered if they're.
You know, and that smug grin on his face as well. That's going to get wiped off your fucking face, sharpish, Mr. Boyle. Especially with the next two videos. You know, so you can quite clearly see people. You know, these are two smug scumbags. You know, that think that they're untouchable, but unfortunately, you know, I'm going to stick around for a little bit and, you know, get as much. There's going to be a part 2 to this, guys. There's definitely going to be a follow-up part 2 to this from me. There's a lot more information though I've got to collect, and I didn't simply have enough time to collect the information. But there is definitely going to be a part 2 to this, guys. Let's
opinion on me, and you know, I've seen him taking the mick out of me and all the rest of it. It's my belief, the narcissist that he is, doesn't like to see women that are of a strong nature. You know, me, you, our close friends, family, people that matter to us know why that fallout happened in the first place, and it was nothing to do with money, nothing to do with the books.
Seen the evidence, haven't I?
Yeah, it was, you know, more to do with personal reasons between those two. But that's it. We're going to go out now, aren't we? We're going to have a lovely evening.
So basically, to recap, I haven't got the time. This is the first kind of only thing I've ever did in 2 years like this. This has been going on 2 years. If you remember, I mean, this guy or this couple was saying last year I was going to be arrested. 7 police forces were after me.
Yeah.
I was like, the news, Jimmy Savile, where's it all gone?
The insulting thing is that he talks to the people that follow him like they're stupid, like they've got no memory. Like he'll tell them a lie 1 month and then, you know, it'll be contradicted the next. He told people that you were at Crown Court. Crown Court,
where you can actually get a life sentence.
Told people that there were 7 police forces after you.
So where's all that gone? You know, so the video yesterday, they basically said it's all going to be in the papers the next couple of weeks.
So watch out for that.
So watch out, because I can assure you now, there's nothing. So, you know,
it's not going to be in there.
But this guy who lies and lies and lies on top of lies, how is he going to explain where?
Well, unfortunately for you, Mr. Boyle, you know, I'm going to put the paperwork out in the next 2 videos. So, you know, how people can even believe one little tiny lie coming out of this scumbag's fucking mouth. His arse is going to get ripped a new one in the next 2 videos. You've heard it there from both of their mouths. You know, that there's no court case, rest assured. You know, there's no paperwork. Well, unfortunately for you, Mr. Boyle, you know, I'm going to prove that big lie to be a big fact in a minute. Brian and Emma have always told the truth. I haven't doubted Emma or Brian for 1 moment. You know, and I've gone into this, you know, sat on that fence, straight down the middle.
All that I'm going to be and he's won his case and all this kind of complete utter shit nonsense.
Anybody that knows anything about the courts and stuff will know that what a pre-disclosure hearing or a pre-action disclosure hearing is about. And it's not about winning or losing, it's about that party gaining what they think may be used in evidence if they do with a case against a person. But, you know, we've had it all. That person has since then brought our 15-year-old son into things. They've given out our full address on more than 1 occasion on social media and lives. He's made comments about where we live. He's made comments about where he thought my son goes to school. Now, bearing in mind, this was a kid that at one point wanted a photo taken with that man on our doorstep, because he he thought he was somebody that was a nice person. This person is now not only causing us problems, but causing our family problems. I've had a phone call from a guy that said that he had been asked by that person to put our windows through quite recently because of things this person and others who were in their clique were saying. I've had emails containing pictures of my house, my car, and a scout hut. Now, whether the scout hut that picture was taken because they thought that's where my son went, I don't know, but it was an email threatening me that if I didn't take something down off Darkbot Secrets by 12 p.m, then these photos were added. I don't know who Darkbot Secrets is. It's certainly not me or Jamie. We've both got jobs. We've got.
So now this is the next point, Darkbot Secrets, people. What's your opinions? Do you think that the scumbag Boyles are behind this channel, Darkbot Secrets? Truth will be revealed in part 2, guys.
House with kids, we've got pets. We live a real life with its ups and downs and all the rest of it. We don't do this for anything other really than to make an income. And although it's nice, and although it's nice to get views and thumbs up and things like that, it's not the be all and end all for us. We've got family to think about and other people, and quite frankly, over the last year, we've had a lot worse things going on than some guy drivelling on about absolute rubbish. It really put things in perspective for us, didn't it? And even recently with certain things that have been going on lately, this absolute nonsense. We don't have the time for it. Get your views, get 1 million a day. I'm sure you'd still tell people that you were getting 10 million a day, but crack on. Not bothered, don't care.
So basically, this is the only kind of thing I'm not getting involved with any tit for tat, but I just want to put this out now. Nobody's suing me. There is no. If you hear that again, then
ask for the proof.
Ask for the proof.
There's going to be, there's no contempt of court.
You just heard it, guys. Mr. Scumbag Boyle is asking for the proof. Mr. Boyle, I'm going to put the proof in the next 2 to 3 minutes. As soon as I'm done hearing your scum voice from this video, the next video is actually showing you the proof to the question that you've just asked. You want the proof putting out there? Well, I'm about to show you the proof, Mr. Scumbag Boyle.
Sure. If anyone wants to get in touch, then I've got 3 separate court documents saying I've been dismissed. Now Warcry Publishing have been dismissed. So if this guy goes on again in his court cases and won and everyone's asking for the proof, because I can assure you now there isn't, and I don't have the time. I'm off to London next week, do good things, raise money for charity, and I'm sure they'll still be talking about me on a live. But yeah, other than that, I just haven't got time. So last word to you, Shirley.
Let's go out. We've had a lovely relaxing day together for our anniversary. I know that he had said on his live last night that we'd be bickering and, oh, you've done this and you've done that and all the rest of it, and it couldn't be further from the truth, really. We've had a lovely relaxing day together. We're going to go out and just enjoy a lovely evening, watching a film, and spending today and tomorrow together before you go off to London and do.
So I just want to repeat again, there's no court cases. I've not been sued. We've not lost any kind of, I'm sure they'll do it again. But as I said, ask them for proof. One thing they did say was, oh, we can't announce it because it's all going on. Well, people know in court cases, once it's done, you can show everything. You should have the proof. So, yeah, it's all nonsense and we don't have the time.
I'd just like to prove a fact
Now, this here, guy, this is first part of two parts of the proof where Mr. Tim Foyle has just explained, put the proof out there. If you've got the proof, put the proof out there. Well, there you go, Mr. Boyle. Eat these fucking apples, you scumbag. As you can see on the screen, I've just paused it, guys, so you can quite clearly see. This is Terry Dicko, very good gentleman, and I've done a podcast with Terry Dicko, and you know, I wanted to spend some time with Terry for him to explain the troubles that he's had to go through also at the hands of the corrupt Boyle's scumbag family. You know, as you can see on the screen there, guys, there is your evidence, number one. You know, I've also got the evidence. This is in relation to Terry's court case. So, guys, we're not just dealing with one individual court case as regards to Brian. You know, this is the second one. You know, there's numerous ones out there, but I just haven't had the time, you know, to grab the proof and evidence, you know, from them other individuals. But this is the first piece of documented evidence to counter-react what Shirley Boyle and Tim Foyle, Jamie, he's just made a statement saying that if you've got the proof out there, put the proof out there. Well, guys, here you go. You know, this is part one of two of me producing the evidence that there is court cases against these people. So you can quite clearly see the lies that are coming out of Shirley's mouth. You can quite clearly see the lies coming out of Boyle's mouth, Jamie. Let me just continue to play this for you guys, but you know, there you go. He's just made a statement saying put the proof out there, and here I am, guys, ripping him a new arsehole by showing him the proof and evidence that he's just required and asked for.
Certain people have been saying there is no court case, but there very much is a court case. Very thankful and grateful for the people who've supported me. You know, nobody wanted to go down this path, but when people aren't coming up with the goods and the promises and signing contracts and being treated like worse than dead, it's not on. So I'm concerned. There's the details and facts for the court case. I've got the other forms which I'm going down to Teesside magistrates now, Teesside courts, combined courts, to hand them in. So, although it's been stressful and dragging along for quite some time, I just want everyone to know and see for themselves that this is evidence that the so-called author is getting to go into court with the so-called publisher, and there's other court cases to follow for copyright theft and other. So I'm absolutely delighted. You know, all right, spending the money, getting themselves drunk and doing what they want to do, but not spending my money, because I give that money to charity. So for all you lads on the corner who I give money to when I can afford it, when I get paid off these, there's more for you. Whether you want a tent, sleeping bag, whatever you want, I'll buy it. So thank you very much. I'd like to say a big thank you to my little Mrs. Leslie, because I know she'll be watching, but I'm just too good to be true. So you know, Leslie, even though we do have our little ups and downs.
I absolutely love this guy, Terry Dicko. It's too good to be true. Now, Jamie, you know, the link's there if you want to jump on and call me a liar at any point. I dare you to come on and call me a liar. But, you know, you just put it out there, scumbag Boyle. You wanted to see the proof and evidence if there's any court cases, and you were telling everybody there is no court cases. Well, there you go, eat them apples. This is proof one, people, you know, of one individual that's been through exactly the same as what Brian has. And there's the proof and evidence for you guys that he's just told one of the biggest lies. Big up Steve Rafe. I see Steve Rafe in the chat. How are you doing, sir? Hope you're doing well.
Love you more than anything. To everybody out there, thank you. For my friend Marty Turner, who's also got a court case on the 26th this month with the same people involved, thank you. And also for my friend Brian Cockerill. So it's all good. Although we've had enough stress, we're all there, we're all getting it. So thank you very much, everybody. When you
So now Terry Dicko's also mentioned a third party, Marty. You know, that this scumbag Boyle's put Marty through. Marty's like a, let's just say he's a old age pensioner now, I believe. I'm not sure if he's died or if he's still alive, but I mean, that's another third person, you know, that was taking this guy to court. And, you know, quite clearly, I've just ripped a new arsehole out of the scumbag. As you've seen in the previous video, he was saying to put the proof out there. He was saying, and Shirley was saying, the pair of them were saying there's no court cases. If there is, put the evidence out there. Well, there you go, Mr. Boyle. What you got to say about that?
smile, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Delighted. So thank you, and goodbye, everyone. Thank you very much. Stop the film.
Hold on.
It's still on. Well, that's great, and I just think, you know, I'm happy. I'm really happy, and it was so sad we had to go down this path. We did need to do this, but as I said, there, the courts, the details, I've got the forms to fill in. Another friend of mine filled them in. So there's no hiding place. You're at the end of the track. You know, at the end of the track, and the books, what they dropped off for me, I've given away. And, you know, I'd like to say this to everyone. Almost prison. Almost prison. I went over on, I think about the 28th of December and dropped 50 books off for the prisoners. I also dropped the post off for my second book. 40 in my first book, 10 in my second book, Madness Continued, and a poster to put up on the wall in the library. So I'm doing time and I'm out there. And my pal Winky, he's in there, and I wrote my letter. So it's all good, everyone. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for asking me where I am on Brian's channel. You know, absolutely delighted. Tip.
Gonna read these out. Let's see. Yeah. So that's that one. That's the one. It's that one now. April. Letter from court. It's the court of the judge. So that one's more clever. Brenton. See them? Into the
Now, guys, this is the second part of proof that Boyle was asked for, that he claims that there's no court cases against him. You've just seen the paperwork provided from Terry Dicko. That's just one person. This is the second part. He's also put Marty through exactly the same. And again, Marty's got a court case against him. Now, this is just three, but I'm telling you guys, you know, I know to at least 7 or 8 other court cases against these scumbag Boyles as regards to sale from books. But let me just continue with this one, guys.
these people, I'm just talking to myself as I'm planning a little thing. I've got that many of them. I think we've got about 40, 45 maybe letters from the courts. Come on, people. He said to us the other day, where's your proof? Where's your proof? We went to court, if you remember, on the 17th. So I'm going to produce, because he's phoned up the court office and asked me, and they've turned around to me, they said to me, it could be 3 months before you get a letter, because with that time, so you could wait for a long time because it's concluded. But where's it concluded? Where's the proof? It's the case is over. Where's the proof? So I'm going to prove that proof now, today. Because here's a God, here's a Jesus. And when you pray to Jesus, he helps you. God helps them who help themselves. Oh, guys, where you at all? Stop watching the football movies you're watching and watch me. breaking news. What date time now? It's 4 o'clock news, just past 4. Taxman news, 4 o'clock, Saturday. Man U played good tonight, didn't they, against Tottenham? What a game. Destroyed them. Just talk a lot of babble. Come on, thumbs up if you like it. There's loads of videos on as well. We're on again tonight, 9 p.m. for everyone. Going to talk about the stuff obviously tonight. It's a positive channel. Can't believe we've got over 30,000. Well, I think it's nearly 30,100 subscribers now. The lunatic saying, "Oh, he's buying his subscribers." Well, if I was buying me subscribers, how am I getting 500,000 views a month? How did I get not last month, the month before, how did I get 885,256 views if I'm buying subscribers? Mental case. I'm buying them as well. I'm not a millionaire. Mentally is. People are talking and leaving comments. 200, I think the Paul Sykes would lead off. That's a great one. Lead off the office and Mountain Sykes' ass completely goes out the window. I think it's about 140.
In the description box, guys, I've left about 4 or 5 links to certain videos which I'd like you guys to take the time to have a look at, especially the one on Brian's channel from New Year's Eve, where there was an unsuspecting guest that came on once again to speak out about the scumbag Boyle and what he's put their family through. That's Carol, which was Lee Duffy's better half, which just wants all the list left alone as regards to Lee Duffy. But, you know, unfortunately, this fake author, you know, felt the need, you know, to go ahead and write a book without any consent, you know, from the Duffy family whatsoever. None of them gave permission, and he just went ahead, you know, and made a book. And very disgusting. So you've seen the one from Terry putting out his evidence of the court case. Brian's also produced his paperwork as regards to his court case. And Marty also, he has a court case. So the previous video where Shirley and scumbag Boyle was saying there's no court cases whatsoever against us, and you know, I'm here to get the truth out there as regards to behind the lies, you know, that the scumbag Boyle is putting out there, and the traumatic distress that he's put Emma and Brian through. He hasn't only just done this to Emma and Brian, guys. You know, he's basically done this against at least 2 handfuls of people. I'm just wanting to cover this section as regards to Brian and Emma, because it needs to be told, it needs to be put out there, it needs to be said, you know, to the lies that the Boyle family have put Brian and Emma through. You know, it could take me 6 months if I was to go through each and every person and the cases that Boyle's put them all through. There is going to be a part 2 to this, guys, because there's a heck of a lot more proof and evidence for me to put out there as regards to these two. But this is basically showing you the extent of their trolling, what they go through, and the way that they've tried to discredit Brian and Emma. When right from the start, Brian and Emma have always told the truth. You know, and I've just proved to you one massive big lie that these guys have been doing. There's also a video that I'm going to show you to the extent to where he was calling Brian nasty names, and we'll get to that. Let me just continue.
Well, he's offered him out and his bottle went, and he's running over the screws, hiding behind the screws in the jail. And Lee Duffy's obviously offered him out, as Duffy wasn't scared of no one, as you all know that. And yeah, it's a good little video of that. Team OG69, hi, right, how you mate? Official Topic Talk. Now everyone, this channel here, Official Topic Talk, what a great guy he is. Absolutely great. When you get to know him, he's fantastic. He hunts down these dirty paedophile fuckers and all these sorry for swearing but that does. He's like a bit like Marie Howarth, one of them, who hunts down these horrible people, and he just like true media tells the truth. 100% trust about, but he's just done one on the watch of it. It's hilarious, mate. But yeah, the truth, nothing but the truth in it. And he's got tin foil saying he's been off the drink for 5 weeks, and then 2 minutes later he said, I've been off it for 18 months, and he said he's been off drug for 20 years. Well, what about, was it 7-8 weeks ago when you were in London? You went off drugs then, were you? You went off drugs then, Mr. Tinfoil, were you? You shot your head off. You spacker, you fucking retard, Cockerill. That's what you are, a fucking retard. You fucking Mongolian, you spacker, and all these horrible words calling me. So, just for you, I tell you what to do. Here's a great one for him. You keep saying I'm lying about this case. Well, what's all these letters again? All these letters here. What are all these? All Cockerill, War Cry Publishing. War Cry letter. So letter. There's loads of them. All of them are from the courts. Every one of them statements of truth. It's at court with them. Teddy Dickle's at court with them. And everyone I've talked is ripped off. The man's deranged. He sat there with a horrible scruffy beard. He's dyed his hair now. It looks like he's got a dot on, pulled a dot over his head, like a purple dot. It looks like he goes to the OAPs for the only get a purple rinse. Because he's embarrassed. I mean, I've got family, I've got ginger hair, but he's embarrassed about his ginger hair. So he dyed his hair. He dyed his hair either black or blonde, or now he's got it purple. So he then said, I've just gone for the Paul Weller look. Now, Paul Weller's on about suing him, taking the court because he's fucking fuming, saying, there's no way I look like tinfoil. I'm not having that. So he's on about suing him now, Paul Weller. So that was a joke, to tell you the truth. But yeah, Paul Weller's fuming. He said he's Paul Weller. Every other month he's somebody else. But getting to the court case, you said today, where's your proof? Where's your proof? Where's your proof? Where's your proof? I'll fight you. 20-ounce gyms. 20-ounce gyms. Do you mean 20-ounce gloves? That's how intoxicated you were in London. Windows a door. Windows a door. That was Windows a draw. That's how. Windows a door. Windows a door. I'll meet you at the gym. And you swore on your son's life, if you don't turn up at that gym, this is him. This is me talking to him. If I don't turn up at that gym, 11 a.m., 5'8" offer, 5'8". No, you're not 5'8". My wife's 5'7". She's about an inch taller than you. My brother's 5'8". He's 5'6". Little skinny legs and a big pot belly, big fat face and ginger hair. That's you, scruffy. You don't get a wash. And you know, Windows and Law, if I don't turn up, 5'8" offer. Let's listen. Listen, everybody. Listen to me. You've made the absolute bell end of yourself. Well, that's what you are. And made a fool of yourself. And they've made everyone now can't stand you with your lies. But if I'm making all this up, why have I got court case after court case and court case? Why has Marty Turner got all the letters? Why has Teddy Dickle got all the letters? So we're all lies and you're telling the truth. So let me tell you this, man. Let this sink in. Let this sink in. That's what he was saying. You can't even speak properly. You can't even get your own words. And then when you see the police guy, you shit yourself because you thought you were going to get arrested. That's how much paranoid you were on drugs. You turned around and said, this is not me saying, this is from you, tinfoil. I can smoke crack and weed and still come down that gym and play with you. I'll school you. You couldn't fight sleep. You had 3 fights. You got battered in one of them. They stopped you fighting in the ring. You got stopped. But Abdul, which is Raggy's cousin, destroyed you. You disqualified from one from Sunderland. You got stopped because you hit the line below the belt about 5 or 6 times. And then you got a draw in one of them. That was your great record. You only had 3 fights. You're just an idiot. So let's get back to your bullshit Doyle. So you said you're going to write it. You're doing a film on Paul Sykes. This has been going on now since 2014. Still no movie. It's all shit. It's all made up. Told me he had £1 million put in the pot. So I asked who was it? You know yourself, say if it was Tetley Teabags. Or Tetley Teabags if it was £1 million, or say Channel 4's put £1 million up, or whatever millionaire businessman's put 2 million. 2 weeks later, I've got 2 million now. And nothing's ever been in the papers about them. Only the bullshit where he's telling the papers. There's no one playing Paul Sykes. There's no Paul Sykes movie. It's all shit. So anyway, if I'm lying then, right, and you'll be paying me every month, all you have to do, you and your mate, Brenton, go and get, I don't even want to ask for the 33 months what you owed me. Right? You just provide 12 months payments what you've paid me every month. Wage slips, pay slips, or bank statements. That's all you have to do to show everyone. Where's the last 12? You haven't paid me for 12 months. So where's the last 12 months payments? Where's the last 12 months payments? And before that was £8 and £12, £20 in what I think it was a year and a half I've had off you. So you've got nothing because you're a liar. You're a compulsive liar. You've kept all the money. You've used the money. You're calling the people you did the books like, so me, Teddy Dicko, Matt and Joseph Turner, Gary Fairby, Richie Horsley, Mick Sorby, Penny Maloney, Bob and Dave, all of us are Pond Life now. We're Pond Life.
Now, all of them names that Brian's just mentioned there, you know, this scumbag Boyle, he's ripped each and every one of them people off. And, you know, the proof's in the pudding, guys, because he was stating there's no court cases, and this is the reason behind why these people have had to get a court case going, because they're due monies, rightfully so, which the judges awarded. You know, and he was so adamant, and he was so happy that he didn't think there'd be any proof, or, you know, these people wouldn't pass paperwork on to people to check and then to put up on the screen to prove him lying. You know, he was stating there's no court case, and you could quite clearly see people, you know, this is a major fact in this trolling campaign from the scumbag Boyles towards the Cockerills, and every single named person that Brian's just mentioned, you know, I've gone through exactly the same. You know, and I proved here so far this evening, you know, that he's lying through his absolute teeth. You know, now people can believe him. You know, it's beyond me, people, but let me continue. Emma and Brian are the most two greatest, nicest couple people, you know, that you would ever come across. And this is the one major reason why I've decided off my own back, you know, to produce this live. And there is going to be a part 2 to this live, guys, because there's plenty more evidence that I need to gather to put out in my second part 2 live as regards to the traumas that the Boyles have put Brian and Emma through. You know, this is maybe a quarter of what I need to get out there to show and prove to the people. And I've done this off my own back, people. You know, I've not been approached and asked, you know, because the extent of this trolling, I think it's really upsetting, Brian. You know, and I don't think that this is good for anybody's mental health. And that's the reason why I've decided to take upon my own back, you know, to get this evidence and proof out there as regards to the extent of this disgusting behaviour from the Boyle family directed at Brian Cockerill. And, you know, the truth needs to be put out there and said. There's a link, guys. There's 4 or 5 links in my description box to numerous videos, which I'd like you guys to take the time to watch. And, you know, these people are explaining exactly what the Boyles have put them and their families through. You know, so it's not just Brian and Emma. You know, there's like 2 handfuls, you know, of people that these guys have been trolling and giving disgusting behaviour to. So when you get a chance to, guys, in the description, links are already in there to numerous videos. And I'd also like to thank Carol for making New Year's Eve a great evening, even though, you know, some of the information that was said New Year's Eve, it gobsmacked me absolutely, you know. But thank you for, you know, speaking up after keeping quiet for years and years as regards to the Boyles. The link there is also in the description, guys. It's on Brian's channel from New Year's Eve.
wife is calling me. He said, I'm not doing any more gangsters. So they're fucking pun like vermin and all that. So there's us vermin have kept you in bread and butter for the last 8 years, which have been fraudulently selling them books. And you haven't paid a penny tax to the VAT. You haven't paid a penny tax to the Inland Revenue. So it all come out in the end because it always does, because your lies. So I keep going on about these letters. You keep saying, well, where's your proof from the 17th? Where's your proof from the 17th? And what happened is I phoned the court. I was devastated because the lady said, well, when we had court after the 17th and it was concluded and it says it's the end of the court case, so it proves to people this is now the end of the court case. So you might have a bit of a problem. I said, why? Because she said, we're up to 6 months behind. Some people are getting the letters like for months and months. And oh, shit. I said, he's going to be on my case every day now, because he has been on my case every day since the 17th. Where's the up-to-date court date? Where's the other ones? I was dismissed at the old ones. I was dismissed. Now, let me just see if I've got this right. That's Judge Leathers. That's Judge Leathers. That many cases, Judge Leathers. Where's that one? This is the one. This is the one I couldn't find it. Emma found this at a flat the other day. Now, it is here. On that form there. Brian Cockerill. Here, Jamie Boyle. Defendant, Walkride Publishing. Robert Brenton, Walkride Publishing, Jamie Boyle, Brian Cockerill. Right. The claimant was me, the claimant, and the defendant's them. So listen to this. This is him saying, no, I never got done for contempt of court. He's lying. I never got done for contempt of court. So here we go.
And also, Jamie Boyle, if you'd like to, jump on this live and call me a liar at any point, then, you're more than welcome to jump on. If there's anybody else that wants to jump on, I mean, feel free to do so. Or when I've completed this and played all the videos and evidence that I need to put up, you guys can feel free to jump on and, talk about this subject, then you're more than willing to come on. But more than anything, I dare you to come on now, Jamie Boyle, and call me a liar. I dare you to.
Blah, blah, blah. Walkride Publishing. Before his judge, this is the judge who done him, but it wasn't the one he was sitting with, so I'll just explain here. So before his Honourable Judge Gargan, sitting in the Combination Court, Middlesbrough County Court, upon the court-owned motion, upon reading an email sent on behalf of the claimant on the 26th of January 2021. Now remember, listen to this, the 26th of January, so we were up on the 18th, and I started putting the videos up. He pretended he went to the magistrates, he recorded the magistrates hearing and put it up, and he said he never done it. So this is what the judge said. So upon an email sent from me on the 26th, upon viewing the YouTube footage identified therefore, and upon it appealing the court that the first defendant, Jamie Boyle, has made a private recording of the hearing before District Judge Cook, who was in the case, and Mr. Boyle has published this recording and put it on the internet. Under 3, Section 85C2 of the Court Act of 2003 provides that it is an offence for a person to make or attempt to make an unauthorised recording or an unauthorised transmission or an image or sound by person where the person or other person will then use this, particularly by making a private recording of the hearing. The first defendant, Jamie Boyle, has now breached Section 85C2A by publishing and recording on the YouTube internet. The first defendant, Jamie Boyle, has now been breached Section 85C2B, Section 9(1) of the Contempt of Court Act provides subjects below contempt of court to use in the court, bringing into the court for a tape recording or instrument for recording or sound recording is not allowed. So he was then charged for contempt of court, and he was told by the judge, there's the letter at the very bottom, so put it on so you can read it, type it, whatever you want to do. There it is there from the judge. That's there. All the stuff, all the bullshit lies, there he is there, and there he is in the indictment. So how was he being charged for contempt of court on there for making an illegal Because what happened, you see, with the COVID being on, what they do a lot with county courts, they'll do a conversation on the phone because it might only be on 20 minutes. Well, obviously, being a Crown Court, if you're in for a murder trial, things like that, obviously it's a jury. So everything is done. He doesn't know the law. Him and his so-called secretary, who's I know everything about the law, knows nothing, because you don't go to magistrates for civil cases.
Oh, the Dark Horse. Steve, what lodge are you based at? Telford Masonic? Jump on, mate. Jump on, Dark Horse. Show your face in the background. You don't have to put your face on the screen and, come and ask me a direct question on my live now. I dare you to. Come on. I'll answer your question on the live.
You go to the county court, but the county court dealt in the Crown Court. It's in the Crown Court chambers. So you go in the courts and the judge deals with it, but they'll phone you from his chamber and talk to you, and then he'll have a Crown Court case on, and he'll go and do the Crown Court case the same day, both two. So what they do, they'll have you in there maybe 10 o'clock to 11, finish, and then they'll have a Crown Court where somebody's from court for a criminal offence. So the judge resided over it, Judge Coe, and said he told them everything he had to do. He pretended that he went to the magistrates and put a court of the magistrates, recorded them, put that up, and said, here I am walking free from the magistrates, because the judge said, at this moment in time, Mr. Cockerill, Mr. Boyle isn't relevant to the case because we're only here for a pre-action disclosure. So he was dismissed. But he said, if you want to bring him back at any time, you can. So he left the building. And when we talked to barristers, they said he's a waste of time suing because he doesn't own anything. We can't sue him, we never sue him. So we sued his company. And he was part of the thing. Now he's still in the indictment with Terry and with Marty, because he's, like you said, he's the one who gives the 37.5% of the book. Now I was supposed to get 37.5% of a book. They ended up getting something like £1.11 a book, and he only got that for about 4 months, and then they stopped paying me. And then they paid me, and they stopped paying me. They just paid me £8. 1 month they paid me £1.38. So how was that? You've got to remember, I didn't just do a book. I did the book, I did the Kindle, I did the audio book. The audio book is selling at two prices. You can rent it. You can go on Spotify and rent it, or you can buy it. I think it's £5 to rent and £8 to buy. Then you can buy the paperback books, £15. So there's 3 outlets of money. Then there's a documentary which you can buy on Etsy. So there's 5 outlets of money. And then you can pay for it outright and buy it. So there's 6 outlets of money. And all them outlets is giving me £1.38, £3.68. And trying to say that's what was owed. So absolutely disgraceful. So there's the court letter. That's that one. You're still waiting for the court letter, aren't you, from the 17th? So I was at court on the 17th. Here it is here. I'll read it out. GOOMB 645, dated the 19th of October. They sent it out on the 19th. We're at court on the 17th, as you remember when I come and told you. Brian Cockerill, claimant, Rubik's Limited, Warcry Publishing Press, or Warcry Press. They're umbrella companies then. So Rubik's is the company, because when we tried to, that's what Judge Cook said, sorry, from the beginning. He said, wait a minute, Mr. Cockerill, just had a quick look on the internet. Warcry Publishing, Warcry is not a company. What does that mean, Your Honour? And my friend Rob and little John told me this. He said, what it is, if you're not in company's house registered, you're not paying VAT, you're not paying tax. So they're deliberately not registered. All that time, he said he keeps bragging he's done 22 books. Well, let's see when the Inland Revenue go in and check him to see how many books he's paid for, how much VAT he's paid, because he hasn't paid us anything. So we can't pay any VAT, we can't pay nothing because we have had pittance off him. So all them people he's ripped off. So he said this case was discontinued and he got off it and everything. He did get out of the court. He didn't have to go to court, but it's him who was involved in it. It was him who brought us into the deals. It was him who kept contacting people I knew, different friends of mine, boxers and people who knew me from Teesside. I can give him a great platform. I can do brilliant for him. I can do this. He said, don't you realise I'm Jamie Boyle and I've put Middlesbrough. I put Middlesbrough on the map. I had put Middlesbrough on the map. You know, he talks, he's the great, like he's fucking Captain Cook or something. So anyway, Mr. Tinfoil, I just want to read to you here. So we're getting to it. This Honourable Judge Van Aken, sitting in the county court, because the judge in the end took the case over, County Court, Middlesbrough Teesside Combined Court Square, TS 12AE on the 17th of October 2022, which is the date I told you I went to court. So I'll just show you that, which is on there. There's the court letter there. Put up a little bit there so some people see I can't see it. You can see there the court letter and all of it also. There it is there. Put up a little bit more for you. There's all the proof on there. There's the court date, 17th, right? And there's the letter at the top on the 19th, and there's the court case number. So I'll read it out to you. Before Judge Gargan, as we come to the Teesside companies, upon the matter coming on for hearing, remote by telephone. Upon the hearing, the claimant in person, Mr. Brenton, director on behalf of the third defendant, which is Rubik's Limited, trading as Warcry Publishing, Warcry Press, right? The defendant, hearing from the director, the third defendant, and the claimant, explaining that the relevant organisations have to be cooperative with the order. So the order was given to him. So the judge made an order that he would be given the information. So the order he had to make was this one. I've showed you tonight, and that's the order there. I have to go to all these outlets to prove where the book's been sold and how much it's been sold for. I've got to contact these companies. And because I was like late getting it, because he messed about, Brenton sent me the letter. So I've still got that to do. But that's there. It says now, it says on here, no further order be made for an application disclosure, which is now at an end. So there it is at the very bottom. This is at an end. The very bottom, it says it's at the end. The case is over now. And he's still saying there's no cases. So that's the court cases. That's the letters from Brenton. That's the combination one. That's him done for contempt. There's the other one, Warcry Publishing, pages long. There's another one, another court case, another court letter. There's another court letter for the court case, which was in April. On there, another one from the courts. There's another court letter. There's that many, don't there? From everywhere. Another court letter from the court. So once and for all, now I've proved 100% these court cases, but mine's finished. The other two are up.
Well, there we have it, guys. You know, what more can I say other than, you know, the evidence is there. You know, Jamie Boyle, I've given you the chance, you know, to jump on. So, you know, come on, Dark Horse, come and jump on the live. You know, let's see what you've got to say. You know, come and challenge me on anything that I've said or done tonight. Tim Foyle, as for you, you know, you've put the question out there, and unfortunately, you know, I've granted your wish of proving that there is court cases against you. You know, the next part, I think, coming up is going to be to the extent that how he's trolled and said disgusting things against Brian and Emma. When I've exposed you, use all those corrupt Masons, I will be jumping onto my other channel to reveal my identity. Well, jump on the live now and, you know, come and challenge me now to anything that I've said here today is a lie. You're obviously a fond supporter of Tim Boyle. Actually, get a phone call over to Jamie Boyle for me, you know, and get him to jump on this live. You know, I've got questions to put to him, and it needs a response.
He hasn't paid me. He hasn't given me any invoices all the way through it. When they asked for invoices, he hasn't given me any bank statements. He hasn't given me the proof of how many books have been printed. He hasn't given me how many books they've printed from their own outlets. They haven't given us anything, so they've withheld everything. And the only reason that my barrister friends told me is because it would be detrimental to them to give it to me, because it would show how much they owed and how much they owed the taxman, not me, the VAT and the Inland Revenue. Because all of this, the company has all been made up for fraud. It's all fraud. if he hadn't, why would a company not have invoices? Tell me that, anyone. Anyone knows about the law? Why would a company not have invoices? How can you have a company without invoices? How can you not pay people every month? How can you not give people how many books have been sold? How can you not give people how many books have been printed? Why wouldn't you do that? You know why? Because it's all fraud. That's all the way through it. So yours, Pond Life, have kept you in bread and butter. Lee Duffy's book, you bragged to me. He said, I made $3,000 off that book. He said, I just kept that and I put it on my house. And then I got 29, and I got another 12 grand over the last 12 months, £1,000 a month. Put it in all that as a bank account and it got transferred to me. So all that's going to come out as well. All the fraud he's been doing and all the shit he's been doing. Everywhere he goes, him and there, they're horrible. So yeah, and that's my wife. He's put on a thing today, page. Emma fancies Jamie Doyle. Are you fucking for real? You must be sucking on an exhaust pipe or something. My beautiful wife fancies you. Seeing the state of you. You're 42-year-old. I'm 58 nearly. I look younger than you. I haven't got a wrinkle in my face. You're absolutely can't. You're not lazy. You can't be able to get a shave. You can't be able to get a wash. You can't be able to wash your hair. You just sit there like a tramp all day long, drinking alcohol and taking. And people knows when he said to you the night, he said he's been off drugs for 20 years. Do you really believe that? He said that on the Paul Sugar one. I said experimenting on 16, but I've had now since then. Absolute shit. And when he said the Blue Smarties, what Blue Smarties are? They're called diazepam. I was getting them in hospital. I was getting one to go to sleep on the night because they make you sleep. But he takes them by the gallon, he just drinks them. But yeah, I've been off drugs. 20 years, you've been on them 20. You told me you were on them when you were 15 and you've never been off them since. And you said to me at the table, I'll never get off them, mate. He said, but because I don't like the church, I don't like, said this in the car. We'll come back from the do in Bishop Auckland, where you made a fool of yourself there. We had a great night, and what did you do? You were going around at the end of the night, Peter, all taking pictures of me, never, getting pictures took. He was going on pinching people's drinks and drinking the drinks. He was doing this with the bottles, shaking the bottles and drinking the bottles of alcohol and drinking the glasses. People's like drinks. After that's my drink you just drank. It's embarrassment. We had to get him out of the club because all the travellers, there was 12 lads from Hartlepool, old Jamie Cockerill, my brother, all of his friends were there. They're going, you fucking scumbag. I'll call him everything. He started mentioning Port Sykes, the whole place. It was open because we're all travellers up there, proper tough lads. We met our friend Drew Nice, he's a lovely kid. And we met another kid up there with his wife and everything, lovely people. And he fell asleep in the crowd for 2 hours. And his wife said, what's all this? She sent this text him, what's he doing? Oh, he hasn't done it again, has he? He hasn't gone overboard again with the drugs. He hasn't gone overboard again with the alcohol. I've got the text off it. And there was pictures getting sent where they were drawn like a dick on his head on the picture. And he's in the crowd like that. And my brother was sat next to him going, and that he was drinking them blue tablets in the crowd like he was drinking. He had them in a little medicine bottle. He had 36. He crushed one up in my house and sniffed it off the table. That's honest to God, that's how bad he is on them. He's been off them for years. Well, I'll tell you what to do. Why didn't he take?
Yeah, and that was another point. You know, this guy is that much of a druggy and alky that he went round the pubs. You know, like when you leave to go home from a pub and you just leave your pint on the table and you bugger off home. Boyle even went round the whole pub drinking the little bits of scrap alcohol that was in different people's glasses. I mean, what more of a tramp can you get than that, guys? I mean, these guys. I mean, I think there's going to be a part 2 and part 3 to this, guys, because I need more time. There's more evidence I need to collect, and there's definitely going to be a part 2 and a part 3 to this, guys, because I want to rip this guy such an arsehole, that everybody out in the world gets to hear exactly what he's done.
Drug test, it's about now. You say I'm on crack. If I'm on crack, I'll take the hair follicle test. You take one. You won't do it, will you? I've challenged you that for 6 months. You keep that big blabber mouth of yours. You can't fight. Couldn't fight sleep. So when I'm fit, I'll come see you. We'll sort it out. Wait till I get fit. Probably 6 months time down the line. We'll do it like proper men. We'll have a lock on the door. We'll go somewhere. We'll sort it out. Yeah, stop being a big mouth because I can't walk properly at the minute. But let's do it. When I'm fit, I'll come and see you. I don't need it. And what's this year about prime with these guys? I don't need a gang. I don't need a gang in my life. When I went to factions in Sunderland and in Newcastle, I went on my own. I turned up on my own. I didn't go with anyone. I went myself. When I fight one of the best fighters in Gisborough, Billingham, Stockton, Middlesbrough, wherever I've went to fight people, I've got to be own, or I've had one person drive me there. I don't need a gang. I don't go in a gang. Not known as O'Brien and his gang. I'm known as the taxman on my own. I'm a lone wolf soldier. I do my own fight by myself. I don't need a gang. I've got people come back me up. I've got loads of people been on the phone this morning talking to me. Can't stand you. Wanting to do all sorts to you. Just to smash it to pieces. People come, I'll fight for you, Brian. I'll fight for you, Brian. I'll fight for you, Brian. All over the place, people want to fight you for me because you disgrace calling me because I was in a wheelchair. Call me a spacker. There's people out there who've got children who can't walk. I mean, I'm lucky I'm coming back. But there's other people in wheelchairs. You call them people that name. In the 21st century, nothing happens about you because we all know what you do, don't you? But yeah, for the so-called no court case on the 17th, I've just proved to you there. The letter was sent out to me. That was Jesus that helping us. The court case was sent out. These are just all the old ones, but going all the way back. There's no court cases. But as like I say, that one there is just buried. Emma found that one there where it tells him when he.
Exactly that. You know, he's buried on that biggest lie. You know, that he's told to people. You know, as regards to no court cases against him, as I've just rightfully proved that. You know, there's two separate individual people that have got court cases against him. There's plenty more. There's Marty. There's numerous other people, you know, that have got court cases against this scumbag. I bet now he wishes that he never made that video, and I bet he wishes that he never made that statement. You know, if you've got the evidence, put the evidence out there. Well, you know, Mr. Boyle, I'm sorry, but the evidence is there for you underneath your noses. And I hope now that you crawl underneath your rock and just leave these guys alone. You know, because there's no need for it. You're a disgusting individual, you know, that picking on two very good people. You know, if you hadn't have made all these actions in your life under the influence of drugs and drink to get you into the spot where you are today, then, you know, none of this would have ever have happened. You know, if you've done everything correctly, I can name you numerous authors out there, and they don't act like the way that you do. You know, they produce receipts when people want the receipts. They show people the paperwork when it's asked for. And you've done nothing but scheme and scam your way through life.
He's been done for contempt of court. So how can you be done for contempt of court if you went to court? And how can you be charged for it by the judge and won't do it again? You've been seen as trouble. But you just can't stop, can you, with that little lies that you come up with? You've had all the money away. You've done it all in. Why don't you just come on, just tell the truth, just say, I'm a compulsive drug addict, I'm an alcoholic, I've made a mess, I've effed up, and I apologise to everyone. And then people just move on, leave you alone. But you can't, you're a narcissistic personality, NPD it's called, narcissistic personality disorder. You can't stand being opinionated. Somebody called me a name, so I stole out my dad's house, the MAR tapes from my house, nothing to do with anyone else. And he's now going to do the one, the Paul Suggett one. Now, I'm going to give credit to Paul Suggett and his cameraman. They came and when she contacted them, she explained to them, please, I'm begging you to watch it. And it's the big laugh, you know, you're like, he said, a glass went like that. Living, so the resurrection document, he got ruined. He said he's an absolute arsehole, threw him out the gym. It's them two doing it. Go apologise. It wasn't you, mate.
Do you know what? Oh, you want and
to let people know I'm telling the truth. I appreciate it. And so almost said to him, he goes, so he paused it, he went, and he's taking me to court, and he's sitting in his wheelchair getting my books taken. And they're not your books, Martin Joseph Turner's book, Brian Cockkerill's book, Teddy Dicko's book, Teddy Dicko's other book. That's what we got took down. Our books, not yours. And those Pond Life, you call Pond Life, have kept you in bread and butter, have kept your son in shoes and clothes and food and your wife. You've made money off all of us, but now we're waiting back and we're winning. You don't like it, so we're called Pond Life now. And there's no way you're going to be done Brian Clough's book, because I know Brian Clough's family, and I will guarantee you don't do that book. I'll guarantee 100%. And every test you've got to do a book, I'm going to send them all the details of all these things like this, what you've done, to prove to people that you don't get paid. And you can't prove you can pay people because you haven't paid anyone. If you had paid them, you'd have went to court and you'd have given the invoices like the Judge Cook said to you. Have you got the invoice for it? Yes. Then Judge Lillis asked you 3 times. He says, and Judge Cook asked you again. You said yes. Then Judge Gargan asked you 5 times. Then Judge Phillips, Judge Swan. There's that many judges. And everyone you lie to because you're just a liar. You can't stop lying. You sit there, you scruff your beard, get a wash, get out of bed in the morning, make your bed, get a wash, clean yourself. It's soap and water in the pound shop. Go there, you get a shampoo up there for £1. It's Head and Shoulders. Wash that hair, but watch your blue, your purple rinse doesn't come out. Paul Weller. Paul Weller's fuming. Paul Weller. The Paul Weller look. My wife fancies you. Absolutely deranged. She wants to punch your face in 2 seconds. So thanks to me. Guys, and we'll see you tonight, 9 o'clock. All the people. Donny Boy, bend you up. All right, Timmy B. Yeah, everyone, love you all, guys. I'll see you tonight. Big Vlad, another great lad. All these lovely people. Donny Boy. Yeah, the dogs are great, guys. Thanks very much. Yeah. Jim Jameson. Yeah, Donny Boy. Okay, guys, I love you all, and I'll speak to you all soon tonight at 9 p.m. If you're not there, I'm going to come look for you. Right, I love you all. God bless. I'll end this. I'm getting good now. I'm ending them myself. Yes.
Cockerill.
So, guys, what do you think so far to this nasty, horrible piece of work? And, I feel for Brian and Emma in all this, to be fair with you, because it's starting, I think, to show, and it's taking a toll on Brian, and hence this was another reason that I decided to take this up off my own back. Because it's not doing Brian's mental health any good, and this guy needs to be stopped, one way, shape, or form. And like I say, guys, I decided, to put all this proof and evidence out there once and for all, because I want an end call to all of this horrible, disgusting behaviour from the Boyles towards Brian and Emma. And this is the only way I felt the way that I could step in and possibly help, by getting the proof and evidence out there, as to how this despicable man carries his life. He reminds me nothing more of a homeless individual. So I think by him doing that homeless stunt for a week in London, I don't think it took much playing on Boyle's part, to play the homeless guy, because that's exactly what he looks like. Now, getting on to the last part of this, exposing of the Boyles and the way that he's been disgustingly trawling Emma and Brian. If you can't your minds back where he done a homeless week's video, and this last part is going to highlight the disgusting mind of Jamie Boyle, because in this next video you're about to witness some of the disgusting things that he said towards Brian when he was high on drink and drugs in London, playing homeless. But I think he plays the part quite well. Let me just play it for you guys, and then I'll take some comments after.
Right, listen. So I will meet you 11 o'clock on Steel City Gym, right? And I will fight you in any fucking gloves you want. And I repeat, any as long as it's not bare knuckle, as long as it's Queensberry rules, right? Because I will expose how much
of a fucking spastic you are, right? You are a fucking retard, right? And Paul Venison rang you. Do you know what? You're a fucking any type of Paul or any type of Brian Cockerill I would beat, right? So Jamie Boyle, 5'8", never boxed any headstone, and 15 stone, right? So I will meet you 11 o'clock, big Brian Cockerill. You big fucking smelly spastic. You're a big ugly looking bastard. You've tortured me. You've tortured my family. Anyone who wants to watch this, and I repeat, anyone who wants to watch this, come with me and you can fight my mate Paul Venice, because I am at my wit's end, right? Never mind my wife, never mind my family. Brian, you're a smelly ugly, right? You are smelly and you're ugly, right? So, if you were the hardest man in the world, you will beat me in a boxing match, right? Yeah, you go. Because I'll fucking play with you, right? Fuck a Brian! Do you know what? Yeah, do you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but you're like, do you know what? Oh, get Jamie Boyle's books off. You sat there in your wheelchair. The whole nation have watched you. Well, do you know what? I can't watch you anymore, mate. So, 11 o'clock, Steel City Gym, Bob and Dave. I will be there, right? I'm not even training. There we go. I'm going to expose how fucking stupid and soft and exposure you are. Richie Horsley, good friend of mine, Mick Sorby, said you're fucking... But here we go. None of them are in the ring. I'm 5'8". I haven't boxed for 25 years. So here we go, Brian. Whoa! Here we go, Brian. Because I'm fucking playing with you, right? And if I don't play with you, right? Please note this. Anyone who hates me, Sam Galloway, all the little dink pots.
Sorry, guys, but you know that's hard for me to listen to. You know, the words that he's coming out with there. You know, that's discriminating against a lot of people in the world. And from what I know about his track record of boxing, he's had all the 3 fights, and one of them he absolutely got annihilated in. He got ironed out. One fight had to be stopped, and another one. The words he's using there, guys, I've got no words to describe it, and you know, it's getting to me a little bit, having, you know, to listen to these words that he's put, you know, towards Brian. I mean, and as for bringing people's names into it, I mean, he's mentioned a name called, you know, quite a few names there, and I'm sure that they wouldn't be proud to know that their name's been mentioned alongside the disgusting words that he's put out there in this video towards Brian. But this is just a highlight, guys, the mentality of this guy, and you know, for him to lower himself to such low standards, you know, to have to call these evil, wicked names. And people, this was one of the reasons why I've decided to do this, because once I've seen this video, you know, I needed to do something, you know, to get this awareness out there to the lies and bullying tactics of this scumbag towards Brian and Emma, and also the handfuls of other people that he's decided to use this sort of mentality against. You know, it's simply not acceptable, and it's simply not fair. I know for a matter of fact that, you know, this has got to be affecting Brian and his mental health, and I'm worried for that. you know, and this is another reason why I've decided to step up and step in, you know, to bear witness to all this guy Boyle's lies and deceit, you know, towards numerous people. It's quite frankly not acceptable. And no one's asked me to. I've decided to do this off my own back, and you know, the awareness needs to be put out there to this vile man's disgusting words towards one individual, bearing in mind at this point, when this video was actually made, Brian was still in recovery from major spinal operation, which was a 6 to 8 hour operation, I do believe. And to have to come back to this sort of behaviour, it's not on at any level or any standard whatsoever. I'm going to stick around and get out there as much as I can about this individual. I don't want this affecting Brian's mental health any more than it has already. And I suggest whoever's behind the Big Brian Live channel, I suggest that you get it removed and stop all this disgusting, vile behaviour towards two very decent, law-abiding people. Brian's a very, very strong man, you know, and work he's been doing has been astronomical. You know, the amount of people that Brian and Emma go to help, and it was only at Christmas time, you know, he was taking goods and gifts, you know, around to less fortunate people, you know, which I think is a good act, you know, to do at that time of the year. And I've spoken to Brian and Emma behind the scenes, you know, as regards to this, and I do hope that, you know, this doesn't affect Brian mental health, because I want to see the brighter, better side to Brian, you know, and his channel is booming, and I don't want his channel and his hard, good work on his channel being affected, you know, by this individual, as quite clearly every morning that Brian wakes up, you know, he's having to put up with this on a daily basis, and I don't think it's quite fair, you know, for him to have to wake up every morning and, you know, have to go through any more stress than what he's already going through. You know, so I suggest, Mr. Boyle, you know, and your little cronies you got working for you in Hartlepool, you know, them two arsehole scumbags in Hartlepool, that you've got to open up the Big Brian Live channel. It's coming on top, you know. The truth is going to come out who's behind that channel, one way or another, you know. It's people from Hartlepool that you've got to jump onto your side, and you've been putting out lie after lie after lie after lie about Brian. So this appeal goes out to you, scum, in Hartlepool. Get that channel shut down, please. You know, there's no need for you to be supporting this scumbag any which way, shape or form. Let's just continue with this, guys, and then what I'll do is I'll open up the panel.
Tommy, if I do not play with you with ease, right, I will never, I repeat, never, boom, 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 boom. I will never write a book ever again, because I'm playing with you, Brian, and you fucking stink, right? So there you go. Big, stupid Brian Cockerill, 6'3" monster. You've got to turn up. You've got to turn up at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock against 5'8" Jamie Boyle. So, that leaves one question. If I even do well with you, if you don't wipe the floor with 5'8" Jamie Boyle, you are not the hardest man in the world. In fact, You've never even boxed. You had one fight and you lost. And my mate was there and he watched it and it was fucking embarrassing. And it was a lot different than the stories you told. Brian, you do not have hair. But I'm going to meet you at 11 o'clock on Steel City Gym. There's no words that can describe how much I fucking hate you. So after 2 years, you've got little Jamie Boyle, 5'8", medium guy, wanting to fight you.
See, these are the words of a jealous, despicable scumbag of a man. He's jealous through and through, and you know, you've only got yourself to blame in all this, Jamie. You know, if you want to ripped and scammed and schemed your way through life, you know, I wouldn't be having to sit here, you know, to make these videos to let people know exactly who you are and what you are and what you've done.
So there you go. I will be there at 11 o'clock. You just had my windows smashed. You've just had my house smashed. My car smashed. You're a big fan.
Let me just stop that there, guys. So now he's going on to accuse Brian of smashing his windows and getting his car targeted, and what an utter load of fucking crap. Absolute crap. He, at that point, scumbag Boyle, you know, he could barely walk, you know, let alone be able to raise anything to smash your windows or smash your car. Now let's look at the facts. You've upset so many people through your scamming, scheming and ripping them off of money through being a fake author. You just simply don't know where it's come from. You've upset that amount of people. You know, it could be any one of 500 people in the world that's got a grievance and a grudge against you. You know, needless to say, I don't condone, you know, windows and cars getting smashed up. I mean, but this is the extent that you've driven people through your scheming, scamming and ripping them off, to the extent that they felt the need, you know, to put your window through, your car through. I mean, I don't condone behaviour like that. You know, there's ways and means to deal with things like this, which the court system, you know, is put in place for this to go to, you know. So how you can try and blame Brian, you know, for doing that act, you know, is totally beyond me. You know, you've upset that so many people. You know, it could be any one of maybe 500 people, you know, that have had enough of your scheming, scamming, lying and ripping people off, you know, to make them go out and, you know, create an act like that. Just bear that in mind, Tim Foyle.
That smelly fucker. You do smell, by the way. So there you go. I'll see you at 11 o'clock. Do you know what? When I was a kid, I used to be scared of fights. But I know how fucking bad you are. You're a boxing ability. But you know what? Bum, 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 bum. I actually know how bad Brian Cockerill's boxing ability is. So there's fighting and there's boxing. Right. So, 11 o'clock a.m. Sorry, 11 a.m. Me and you, big, and I'm going to say this one last thing because I'm going to milk it, right? Because this CUNT has milked my family and that, right? So, are you ugly? No, I mean you, ugly. Ugly man, yes you. So, if you were the hardest man in the world, you will fight me 11 o'clock on Sunday morning at they'll say, Jim, go, Bri, what you gonna do? Are you gonna become Floyd Mayweather overnight, Jell McClellan? You're a fat dickhead, right? You are a fat old has-been, and you're...
See, the one question I'd put this to you, scumbag Boyle. Would you be doing any of these videos saying any of these things 10, 15 years ago? Quite frankly, I don't think you would. You know, you'd be kissing Brian's arse like no tomorrow. You know, you would never come out with words like this against Brian or Emma or anyone, come to think about this, that you've said disgusting things about. I just don't think somehow 10, 15 years ago, you know, you would have been doing all this. So you've taken advantage, basically, of the condition that Brian's in from his operation, and you've tried to use it, you know, as a leverage, and then make yourself out to be a victim and cry wolf to people. Well, hopefully these people that have been supporting you will watch this and understand exactly how much of a liar and a scumbag that you really are. You know, taking advantage of a vulnerable person, because I sure as hell know you would never be saying any word like this, regardless, 10, 15 years ago about him.
What you should have done is just sat quiet. But because they said, come on, I'm going to do you know what? You're not even... I was going to say I was going to devote my whole life to you. But you know what? Everything that me and Paul Venice are going to do. And Paul Venice rang you.
See, again, he's using name dropping there. Now, I asked the one simple question: would Mr. Venice put his name to a scumbag like Mr. Boyle, knowing full well exactly what Tim Foyle's been doing towards Brian and Emma and a load of other people? I don't think for 1 minute that Mr. Venice would agree and put his name to Mr. Boyle. Mr. Boyle's just using Venice's name in shame.
And you were terrified. Ooh! And Miss Piggy was terrified. That fucking disgusting looking thing. So, last thing, make me 11 o'clock. Fuck you, Shirley. Right, Monday, I'm gonna meet you, big, ugly, smelly Brian. Big, fat, smelly Brian. You were gonna box me 11 o'clock. Any round you want, because there's no way you're gonna beat me. There's no way you're gonna beat me. I know that. You know that. I can go southpaw. I can go orthodox. You're a big fucking spastic. And you do you know what? And I repeat, if I lose to Brian Cockerill in a boxing match, so Lord Queensbury rules, I will never show my face ever again, because this is the hardest man in the world, and I've just exposed that big, smelly fat fucker, and you do smell Brian. So 11 o'clock, Shirley, fuck you. Paul Venice, fuck you. And you know what? I'm not bothered, because I could smoke crack and smoke cannabis, and I will still beat you.
Now, did you hear that, guys? He says he can smoke crack, he can smoke cannabis, and still fight. I mean, come on, guys. This sums him up as a individual. As for that last sentence there that he said, quite clearly shows that he's a degenerate.
Because you're pudding, and the whole myth of the Brian Cockerill has been bullshitted. And then after I'll beat you and expose you, it's all going to be exposed. And you're gonna, do you know what? You're gonna even realise you haven't even got any hair. Whoa! So anyway, shut up, Brian. And I want to say this one more time. You are one big, ugly, and I repeat, ugly. You are one big, ugly, fat bastard. If you went, so if you went not a big, ugly, fat bastard, you will beat me on, you will beat me in Steel City Gym. So there you go. There you go. Right, there you go. And if I do not fight Brian Cockerill, I repeat, bum-ba-dum-ba-dum-dum. If I do not fight Brian Cockerill, I will never show my face on YouTube ever again. We'll lose a draw.
Well, he just made a statement there, and you know, he was the one that didn't bother to turn up or show his face, but you know, he said he'd leave YouTube, blah blah blah. He says it's okay to smoke crack and smoke weed and go and fight. And I mean, come on, people, if that ain't a disgusting human being scumbag, I don't know what else is. Total disgrace, total liar. And as for him bringing names into it, I'm sure Paul Venice wouldn't put his name to this video here that I've just played. In fact, I think Mr. Venice would be quite disgusted knowing that Tim Foyle's used his name in vain.
I want a time clock. I want a time clock. Right? Because I will make this big, stupid, ugly, smelly, fucking oomph look stupid. Right? It'd be like taking candy from a baby. And you know it as well, Brian. Yeah? What are you gonna do? Ooh. Brian, you're fucking ugly. And you need to get them teeth done. And you need to get hair done like me. Come and fight me this weekend on nothing, right? You've got 5'8" Jamie Boyle coming to fight you. You're a smelly, ugly old man, right? Paul Venice rang. Fuck Paul Venice. In fact, you know what? I said to Paul Venice earlier, rang him, I said, you know what? Fuck it. Me and you now. Me and you this weekend. So you're the hardest man in the world.
Did you hear that, guys? He just said F Paul Venice, and he offered Paul Venice out for a fight. That information needs to be checked. Quite clearly, you know, he's name dropping on people, and I'm sure they wouldn't like their name to be used in this disgusting man's mouth.
Absolute wallopers, right? I'm going to expose this man. I'm going to absolutely expose. I've never wanted to do this, but I've had 2 years of exposure. And you know what? My wife's car's been smashed up. My windows has been smashed up. Brian, get back to me. And by the way, you're a fucking, and I repeat, you are one ugly looking man.